Hey everyone! If you're a teacher here in Georgia, then you definitely know about the K-12 collaboration standard. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what that means and, maybe more importantly, how you can bring it to life in your classroom. Let's jump right in. First things first, I want you to know that everything we're about to cover comes directly from the Georgia Department of Education's official curriculum documents. We are working straight from the source here, so you're getting the most accurate and useful info possible. So, what's the big idea we're tackling? Well, it all falls under this umbrella of collaboration and presentation. The real heart of this standard is all about how students can build knowledge together and then share it. And this is so much more than just generic group work. It's about creating a space where kids are genuinely learning from each other. We've got a really clear roadmap for this. First, we'll nail down the definition of the standard itself. Then we'll look at what we should expect from our students. After that, we'll get into the fun stuff, practical strategies for your classroom. And finally, we'll see what this looks like in action. All right, let's dive into our first section, defining the standard. We're going to break down exactly what K-12.CP.1 is really all about. So here it is in its official form. The standard is to collaborate with others to accomplish shared goals and projects. It sounds pretty simple, right? But this one little sentence is the foundation for an incredibly powerful set of skills. It's not just about getting along, it's about creating something new together. And this quote from the state's own documents, well, it just nails the why. This standard isn't just some academic box to check. It's about getting students ready for the real world, where collaboration isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential. We're teaching life skills here. Okay, let's build on that. Now that we get the what and the why, let's look at the specific things your students should be able to do. What are the observable skills they're actually going to develop? What's so great about this is how it breaks down collaboration into 4 clear actions. We want to see students actively taking part in discussions, not just sitting on the sidelines. They should be helping to set their own group rules and goals. They've got to learn to offer their own ideas, but also, and this is huge, really listen to others and give good feedback. And finally, they should be using that group time to really dig into topics and solve problems. All right, this is probably the part you've been waiting for, the how do I actually do this section. Think of this as your playbook, packed with actionable strategies you can start using in your classroom tomorrow. And remember, these aren't just one-off activities. They're repeatable plays you can run again and again to build a classroom culture that's truly collaborative. Let's start with 2 classics, and they're classics for a reason. A quick turn and talk is amazing because it gives every single student a voice. And think, pair, share, well, it adds that crucial individual thinking time before the talking starts, which almost always leads to deeper, richer conversations. Structure is absolutely your friend when it comes to group work. The jigsaw method? It's fantastic because it creates this natural interdependence. Kids need each other to get the whole story. And assigning jobs like recorder or speaker, it makes sure everyone has a clear responsibility. It's a game changer for accountability. Collaboration doesn't just magically happen. You have to create an environment where it can thrive. Anchor charts with your group norms are a constant visual reminder. Role-playing tricky situations gives kids a safe space to practice working through problems. And maybe most important of all, you have to model what good collaboration looks and sounds like, day in and out. And finally, let's talk about practice. Giving students sentence starters is like giving them training wheels for respectful conversations. Making group discussions a daily routine, like in a morning meeting, makes it second nature. And activities like board games or STEM challenges, they're pure gold because they make teamwork fun and organic. Kids are problem-solving together without even realizing they're practicing the standard. Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, what does this actually look like in a classroom? Let's walk through a real K2 example from the GANEO documents to see it all come together. So it all begins with a clear, engaging prompt. In this case, the teacher sets a shared goal. Work with your partner to teach someone else about volcanoes. The finish line is clear, but the journey to get there is all about collaboration. Now, pay close attention to the teacher's role here. They don't just step back and say, go. They are actively coaching. They're providing a rubric for clarity, maybe assigning roles to make sure everyone's involved, reminding students of those norms they created, and giving feedback all along the way. That's what great facilitation looks like. And here it is, the outcome. The students co-construct their final product. That word co-construct is everything. They built it together. The final flyer or video is proof they learned about volcanoes, for sure. But the process of how they made it, that's the evidence that they're mastering the collaboration standard. And that brings us to the end. We've defined the standard, we've unpacked the expectations, and we've explored a whole playbook of strategies. The big question now is, what comes next? As you think about your own classroom, I'll just leave you with this. What's one new collaborative strategy you can try out this week?